Greetings, this is Leah Salmon, the Naturally You coach, best-selling author, speaker, nutritionist and life coach for Black women and mothers, on a mission to help 100,000 Black women to eat for health, think for happiness and live in harmony by 2020, or what I call becoming naturally you. This is my first YouTube live video. I'm hoping to come back here and do more of these videos on a weekly basis. And what I'm going to be talking about today in this video is the fact that without assessing, you're guessing. So a bit of story time for us to get started with. And as you're coming in, please feel free to like and share the video and comment. If I'm not able to respond to your comments during this live video, then I'll be sure to jump back for at least a week after this has been posted up, if not more, to respond to any comments that you do have. If you've got particular topics or that you would like to see me do live videos on, or if there's things that you want to like questions that you've got that you would like me to answer during a live, even if it's anonymously, then please feel free to message me or get in touch with me. And you can find me at thenaturallyyoucoach.com to get in contact with me there. And all the videos that are on here and on the Facebook live videos that I do also, you'll be able to find all of those on my website, thenaturallyyoucoach.com/blog. On the site, you can also join my mailing list where I send out weekly video updates and information about articles that I've written or events, my events or other people's events, new product releases and all of that great stuff. But today I'm going to be talking about the fact that without assessing, you're guessing. So when I first started my work as a nutritionist, I started my work as a nutritionist because I wanted to help people who had been in the same situation as me. And the situation that I was in was that I was a vegetarian for the whole of my teenage years, so from about 11 until I was 17. I developed, now because I wanted to become a vegetarian at such a young age, everyone was saying to me, okay, well, if you're not going to eat animal products, you need to get your protein, you're a growing girl, so you need to have soya. So I was literally having soya about 3 times a day. When I was around 17, I developed a condition called metrorrhagia, which is where I was bleeding between my periods. Now, I didn't know what metrorrhagia was. Oh, crumbs. Reconnecting. I wonder if you can still see me. Okay, we've just lost... Okay, there we go, back. Sorry, just lost connection for a minute. So I didn't know what metrorrhagia was, but I knew what was happening to me. But I also didn't know anybody else that had ever had it. I'd never heard anyone speak about it. So it was a bit of a mystery for me, and it was something that I didn't want to talk about. I was quite embarrassed about it, and I lived with it for 2 years. And as the saying goes, in order for change to occur, the pain of staying the same has to become greater than the pain of change. So in order for change to occur, the pain of staying the same has to become greater than the pain of change. And I was tired of having to cover up the fact that I was bleeding twice a month and I was very low on energy and I was going through more pads than any other of my friends or sisters. And even though I was scared of getting help, because I knew that at the time the only place that I knew to get help was the doctors, and I was concerned that they would either operate on me or try and drug me or ignore me. So that fear kept me just living with the condition. But then I just found it was just too much. So I wanted to go and get help. And I was working in a hospital at the time in a sexual health clinic. And there was a gynecological doctor that worked in the clinic as well. So I'm like, okay, this is a good opportunity for me to go and get some help, kind of a little bit off the record, just with someone that I trust, etc. When I spoke to the doctor, they basically said, if it gets worse, come back in 6 months. Which was quite devastating at the time, because I had lived with this condition for 2 years and I'd finally plucked up the courage to do something about it, and I was abandoned is what I felt. But that experience did encourage and empower me to take my health into my own hands. And I began to use herbs and aromatherapy oils and lifestyle changes and dietary changes to alleviate the situation. And when I put a plan together for myself and I started working the plan, I started seeing results in a few weeks, and in a few cycles the condition had completely gone. So I then became this evangelist for everything natural and healthy. And I was telling everyone about it and telling everyone what I had done. and I was recommending herbs and foods and those kind of things to my friends. And then I decided, okay, maybe this can be my job. I can help people who have been in my situation. I can help people who want to find a natural alternative to the chemical, medical, surgical treatments that they could be offered for health challenges that they're experiencing. So that was the motivation behind me wanting to start the work that I did. And I know that that's the motivation behind a lot of people who work with people, whether it's business coaches or marketing coaches or fitness coaches or masseuses or aromatherapists or reflexologists, whoever they are. A lot of us start this work because we want to help people the best way that we can. And very often it is that case of, I was sick, this is what got me better, so I want to share with everyone what got me better so it can get them better. And all of that is a beautiful motivation, and it's a great way to get into it, because you can really sympathize and empathize and work with people on a very one-to-one level because you've been where they've been. The challenge comes in when you do what I did, and what I did is what a lot of people do, which is I applied the one-size-fits-all theory to everyone that I decided to work with. So I decided to become a nutritionist, a natural nutritionist. I studied herbal medicine and holistic diagnostic techniques and iridology, aromatherapy, homeopathy, kinesiology. I studied all of these kind of things so that I could help people. But what I literally did is, whatever was working for me, I would apply it to everybody else. The initial consultation forms that I got clients to fill in was basically like, what kind of food you like, how many times you go to the toilet, you know, your name, address, age. There was nothing that I asked in the questionnaire that really got me to know much about them as an individual. And that was the real downfall, because what started to happen was roughly a third of the people that I was working with got really great results. They got the same results as I did. Roughly a third of the people that I worked with just saw no changes. I would give them loads of advice and ask them to change all these things in their life, and they just came back like 2 weeks later, or I'd speak to them the next week, and for weeks and weeks and weeks, they weren't really seeing any changes. Now, obviously, this could have been because they weren't sticking to the plan, but it's also very possible that they were doing everything I said, but it just wasn't working for them. And a percentage of the people that I was working with began to get worse. I remember this one guy in particular. He was just like struggling on the diet that I was giving this poor guy. Oh my gosh. So what I realized, before I realized this, I got to the point where I was like, I don't understand. First, the ego kicked in, and it was like, okay, well, if you're not getting good results, it's obviously because you're not doing something right. It's not that my advice is wrong. It's you're obviously not doing something right. When I got over myself with that, I was literally on the verge of just packing up nutrition and just not doing it anymore, because I'm like, this is just not working, and it's frustrating, and I'm wasting people's time. I'm wasting my time. I can't understand why this is not working. Then I discovered metabolic typing, which is what I do now, which is personalized diet planning, which is on the premise that not everybody's got the same body type, and a different balance of nutrients will work best for each individual. And when you find that balance of nutrients that works best for each individual, you'll be able to create a diet for that individual that works best for their body type. So when I started doing metabolic typing with clients, the success that I started having with them went through the roof, which was brilliant. So at the same time as that, I found out about biochemic individuality, which is basically on the same concept. And a guy called Paul Chek from the Chek Institute, who's a corrective holistic exercise kinesiologist, and author of a few books. He had a saying, I don't know whether it's his saying, but I heard him say the phrase, which is the title of this video, which is without assessing, you're guessing. And then it suddenly made so much sense that the clients that I'd been working with before, I was guessing. No, it wasn't even guessing. I was assuming that because the recommendations I was giving worked for me, they'd work for them. And a lot of people that are working with clients, other nutritionists and exercise coaches and these kind of things, they're guessing, okay, I've heard this helps tone somebody up, so it should work for this person. It's that very one-size-fits-all approach without a lot of preparatory work, without that level of assessment that will get you to know exactly what's going to work best for an individual client. And when I started doing the assessment work on clients before I would start recommending things to them, it revolutionized things, because I know I was recommending things based on what I think would work. And oftentimes I'd be wrong. There'd be clients coming to me and I was thinking, oh, I bet they'd need this, I bet they'd need that. When we did their analysis, when we did their testing, their assessments, I'm like, wow, I would never have thought that this would be the right balance of nutrients for you. But that's because I was guessing. It wasn't because I was actually working with you and finding out what works best for you. And this goes with everything. This goes with exercise coaches, because I work with Warren Williams, he's a Czech practitioner. Before he gave me one exercise to do, he did a 1 hour assessment on me, then put a program together, then talked me through the program. And when I was doing his exercises, I never got injured once. Not once did I ever experience an injury. The same when it comes to kind of marketing and business. There's people who want to just throw advice at you. Now, with all industries, there's some blanket advice. There's some advice that's going to be beneficial to everyone. But when you want the individual advice that's really going to skyrocket your business and your niche and you as a person, there has to be a level of assessment involved. So when you are seeking out nutritionists or exercise coaches or business coaches, make sure that they go through some process of assessment with you. This will make you confident that they understand you and well enough, or you, your body, your business, your diet, whatever it is, well enough to be able to offer you the best advice possible. My battery's dying, so before this cuts off abruptly, please like and share this video. Please subscribe to the channel. I look forward to seeing you soon on another live video. You can find me at you can find me when I can get my teeth in at thenaturallyyoucoach.com. Thank you very much for watching. Take care and stay healthy.